Hello, 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 everybody. Yay. We are live. We are live. We are live. It's time for the interview, y'all. We're going to give everybody a minute to come in. Y'all know what we say. Y'all make sure y'all share, start your watch parties, do everything you need to do, giving everybody a second to y'all, because we got an awesome show for you today. I'm super excited. So let me make sure, let me check all my pages, make sure we're live on different pages. Yes, I see us. Yay. All right, guys. It's time for the interview. I'm so excited. I'm so super excited, y'all. So we're gonna give everybody still just a minute to come in, make sure everything is broadcasting. We're live. We're doing going forth. Okay. Super. Okay, yeah, we're live there. All right, if you're just now joining us, go ahead and start your watch party. Go ahead and invite your friends to join us. Hey, April, thank you so much for joining us live for the interview. You're in for a treat, so hang on, hang on, hang on. To all our Facebook family, thank you so much for tuning in. We're on Periscope Live. I see you, Periscope. Thank you, April, for joining us. We're on Facebook Live, on the Trish Ministries page, on my personal page. We are on YouTube. Shout out to all the YouTubers out there. Yes, now, yes. Thank you so much for tuning in to the interview. Yes. We're on several platforms, and we want everyone to be aware of what's really popping over here at the interview with your girl Trish M. It is so on, y'all. And so I just want to say thank you just for giving us your time on today. It's so much going on in the world. And, we're supposed to be quarantined and chilling with everything opening up. I don't know, people could be everywhere right about now. So for those of you that got a chance to join us, thank you so much. And if you've not hit that share button, girl, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and share. Invite your friends. If this is your first time watching us, go ahead and hit first time. Tell us where you're from. We want to shout you out. We want to holler at you and make sure you know that we appreciate you for jumping on the interview with your girl, Trish M, and my very special guest today. So if this is your first time, let us know. We want to hear from you, okay? All right.
I'm trying to share too.
Yeah, go ahead, JJ girl. Get your share on, girl. Let everybody know we are live. We got just a couple more minutes to let everybody get in, get situated, get comfortable. Pull up your little chair, get you some juice and a snack. Don't get too heavy because we're still trying to keep our little shape and everything there. But have you something to chill out with us. We're glad that we're gonna have some girl talk today. And I just want you guys to be inspired, be motivated, be ready, because it's all about next level. It's all about looking in so that we could be better out. On today, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get this thing popping. On today, I have a very special guest with me, my girl, Jillian J. Simmons. I am so super excited to have you on. You look beautiful, girl. Thank you for your yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so super excited. I'm always excited just to talk to you, period. So
yes. Oh my gosh. It's been a little while. I think the last time we saw each other was at the I Am Fabulous conference, where you were there with me, and on the panel we were talking about some good yummy stuff, books and different things like that. I also saw you for the first time. I saw you, was it in Texas?
It's in Los Angeles.
LA. It was in LA. That's right. And so God just divinely divinely connected us. And, ever since that time in LA, we have been connected ever since. And so I am just so super honored to have you. I want you to take a minute and tell everybody who you are, about who you are, what you do, that type of thing. Let the world know who you are.
Right. So, Jillian, JJ Simmons. My hair was JJ on the mic. I've been JJ on the mic for quite some time. Former radio, TV personality, been in the entertainment industry for about 25 years. Left to live more in my purpose and to run my foundation full time. My foundation is called JJ's I'm Me Foundation. We serve at-risk girls in middle school and high school. We do an 8-week tour. We've been doing it for actually 8 years now.
Wow.
Touring different schools with an empowerment program for girls and helping to build their self-esteem and character. And it's just been incredible. Also a speaker, a 3-time author.
Yes.
And, mama.
Yes.
13-year-old going on 35.
Wow.
And just really just blessed, just so blessed.
That is so awesome to hear. It's so good to hear how you're giving back to the community, being a blessing to young girls. You were talking about was it I Am Me Foundation? I Am Me?
Yes.
What inspired that? Like, where does this come from? Wanting to help young girls get to this next level? Was it something that was put in you? Did you not have it growing up that you needed it? Tell us where that comes from.
Yeah, well, actually a couple of things. One, just being a single mom. And I noticed when my daughter went to kindergarten, she would come home talking about stuff that I'm like, how do you know anything about Justin Bieber and why he's in jail? And like, what are we talking about here? And it just helped me to realize how much our kids are influenced by others at school. Yeah. And I'd like to consider myself to be a great parent and know that I am pouring all that I can into my child. But the fact of the matter is they are influenced as soon as they walk into that school. And so I decided to create some programming that could help girls to become great role models, because my fear was, what if my daughter is looking up to people who aren't great role models for her? Wow. And so, how can I be a catalyst for that change? Like, how can I make sure that these girls are being the best version of themselves for other little girls? So that's one part. And then the other part is just, I'm a single mother, and I also understand what it's like to work all day and to, where some moms are working 2 jobs and you're just not able to give everything. It's a real, that phrase, it takes a village, is a real thing. So understanding the other side of that, where it's like, hey, a lot of these girls aren't getting what they need at home. Right. And it's no, knock on the parents. It's just a lot of parents are just struggling. Yeah. And so, well, how can I help to pour into someone else's kids and give them what it is that they need when they're just not able to do it?
Do you have any personal wins? Like, what are some of the wins that you've seen over the years with, if you think of anyone in particular, just some of the things that you've seen that you've accomplished with your I Am Me program, like testimonies that you've had?
Yeah. Oh, well, look, we ain't got all day. But, just being able to see some of the girls graduate from high school and go to college and hear about their experiences with the I'm Me tour and how some of them developed friendships, meeting people that you would have not normally talked to, but because of the program, you were able to do that. Yeah. Hearing some of them say like what they're inspired to do in life because they were able to see a robotics teacher that looks like them, or a chef that looks like them. Like, I love hearing the testimonies from our girls who are gone on to college now, who started with us in middle school and high school. And it's like, all right, this is working. Like, it worked.
I love it. This is big, and we need more stuff like this. These things that you're doing with the pandemic going on. How are you able to still, I guess, kind of reach them? during this
Oh,
season?
yeah, it's interesting because our tour just wrapped up that week that COVID kind of kicked in, and
Oh,
so we had just finished our actual programming for the school year. But we are able to still engage with our girls through our social media.
yeah.
Um, we have created virtual programs for this summer where we're planning to team up with organizations like Boys and Girls Club and Girls Inc. so that we can provide some great programming for the kids that have to be at home all summer.
Wow, that's good. And that's awesome that you were able to get, your tour over with, pandemic hits. Now, well, at least you got all of that
That's
out
right
the
on
way.
time.
So that's awesome. The interview is really about looking in so that we can be better out in the world that we live. And you are a woman of faith. How has God challenged you to look in this season of your life so that you can be better out right now?
Mm. Woo! Let me tell you, I think in this particular season, it has been about remembering the promise that He has given me, even when I can't see like a little glimpse of it, right?
Yeah.
And the part of me looking in is just being reminded, He is faithful.
Yeah.
And when you take a look at, getting into my word and start looking at David's story, and it's like David was anointed and did not even get to be king for
Yeah.
20 years. And I have to like cool it down sometimes when I'm like, Lord,
Time is ticking. Okay.
I'm ready. And I think this is what that season is. It's like, hey, don't think that it's not there. Don't think that the promise still isn't there.
Yeah.
But just get in my word and let me remind you that you're on my time.
Yes.
And there are things that you are learning in this process, and it's uncomfortable. Like it is so uncomfortable. But I'm so grateful because I know I'm learning. I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
When things go sideways and I'm just like, woo,
Yeah.
like, what is this about?
Right.
Like, I really just hold on to that promise. And I'm like, there's something that's here I am supposed to learn, or
Right.
someone I'm supposed to connect with, or someone I'm supposed to help. Like, who knows?
Right.
And it's just like, remember the big picture. There's a promise that I know, and I know for sure that it will take place. But I don't know when. And I just have to be content.
So you're in this waiting season, like waiting for manifestation, waiting for the blessing, waiting for that favor. How are you? Is there anything that you're doing to help calm you that you can maybe share with somebody else that's in this waiting season, that you're a little frustrated, but then you find you bring yourself back, and then you wait, you learn how this stuff has happened. What is there something that you do to help bring you back?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Really it's between just actually studying and getting in my word, and really just being in God's presence and just sitting still and listening. Cause I think a lot of times I'm a doer, and I know you're the same way. You're a doer. Like, it's like, all right, let's go. We got to do it.
Yeah.
It's just always doing. But there has to be a time where you can really sit and listen. Yeah. And that has been what I've been doing recently, just to challenge myself. Just sit still. Just listen.
So if you could share, and this can be just anything, what is God speaking to you in this season of waiting? You say you sit and you listen, you hear from God. What is God telling you in this season of your waiting season that's not too personal, but something that you could share?
Oh, yeah. Just the need to be patient, the need to cool my jets, cool it. It's tough when you can't see what's on the other side.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, there's times where you're going through these tough times and you're like, what is this for? Or you feel like, there was a time where I felt like I was being punished. Like, this must be a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Karma must be coming back on me for what I did in 6th grade. And I'm like, no. And I had to step back and take a look at all the things that have happened in my life and what I've gained from those experiences.
Yeah.
And really know, like, when God is, when we are spending time together, I'm really truly listening. He's like, just remember what I've already done. Do you remember remember the last time something like this? And what happened? What did you get from it? Right. And there's always a pattern of learning, gaining some ultimate knowledge.
Yeah.
Or even just like, and I'll give you a great example. Last year, you remember me calling you about to have a whole breakdown. Like, look, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia for a job that I was told was my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there, and 2 weeks later, they tell me they put the job on hold.
Wow.
And I was so devastated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? Like, I moved me and my kid. Like, we here. We ready to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not see it then. And it was, I was basically homeless. I'm staying with a friend because the whole, I was ready to move into my new place and all of that. Once I got my paperwork filled out, that never happened.
Yeah.
So, but what ended up happening is while I was in Atlanta, I connected with you, which probably never happened because then I was 2 hours away, right?
Uh-huh.
I was able to help a friend who just happened to be coming out of an abusive relationship, which is the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I would have known that was going to happen. So I was able to be a support system to somebody else. I don't know. I think there's just so much. And then just connected with so many people there. And it had nothing to do with the job. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was like a whole bigger picture. Divine connections were created during that time of madness.
And you couldn't see it. You thought, okay, God is sending me here for this. But that he put you in an in-between place, which was a rather uncomfortable place because now I don't have a job. Now I'm staying with somebody. I ain't got no money. My kid is here. We're trying to fit. So you're in what we call like this uncomfortable place where God is stretching you, but at the same time, he's building you because he's connecting you. He's divinely and strategically connecting the dots. But a lot of times we can't see it and we don't understand it because it doesn't feel good in the process. It doesn't look good in the process. It doesn't even seem good. And to be honest, a lot of times that in-between place just doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah. It never makes sense. It's like, wait, like this could not be happening. Because I have a whole vision. This is the thing, too. We always create this vision in our minds of what it is that this is going to be, right? Like, I knew I'm going to be on the radio in Atlanta. I'm about to do this, and this. And God's plan was like, no, we actually aren't doing any of that. And it's so devastating, but just having to sit still and just listen. And I promise you, God says it every time. It's like, just remember what I've done. I still provided for you during that time.
Girl, yes.
I can't even believe it. And when I look at right now in the last couple of months, I have made more money during COVID-19 than I have made the entire year of 2019. How does that happen during
Girl, yeah.
I promise you, I just feel like God has to show you that it's him. Like, I'm going to show you that this is me. And I'll make it real clear when you can't see nothing coming. Like, here I am, right?
Yes.
And that happens so often. And it's just like, that's what I have to keep focused on. I know what he's done for me. And I just have to keep reminding myself.
Yeah, that patience or long suffering is hard to carry that mantle. And a lot of people, to be honest, can't carry the mantle of patience slash long suffering because the suffering is too much.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm reminded of what's that book called in this little comic strip where you're so many inches from gold or so many.
Oh yeah, when he's knocking on the little thing.
Yeah, yeah. And he's tired. And I get that picture. That picture, that whole idea, that whole concept relates to so many of us. Like we're so close, but we're so tired. It's like, God, I keep chipping away. I keep chipping away. And the gold isn't there yet. The gold hasn't manifested. The next level, the prophecy, the husband, the children, the finance, whatever it is, and you just keep chipping, or the marriage that's not where it's supposed to be, and you just hanging on by a thread, and you just keep chipping, and it's so tired, and it's so easy to turn around and to just, and then in that turning around, if you had x-ray vision, you would see that the gold, you were this close to the gold on the other side. And so that's encouraging for someone on today, especially those that are in the season where you feel like you're chipping away and you're waiting for something to manifest and nothing's still manifesting. And God is saying, hold on just a little bit longer because there is gold on the other side. There is gold. And so you think about your whole transition when you were in Atlanta. How long did God keep you in that place?
Woo! I was in Atlanta for 6 months.
Wow.
And, you know, the same company that told me to come there for this position, which was a full-time position, reached back out to me and said, hey, can you come do part-time work and make $15 an hour? And I was like, $15 an hour? Oh, God, part-time. Like, and when I tell you, I sat down with God, I was like, you know, this is a mess, right? And it's like, go do it. And I was like,
what was part-time? Like 20 hours, 15 hours, 20?
No, like maybe 10 hours. Like I was making my was like $250 or something. And I did it. It was a humbling experience. And I feel like that is what I was supposed to get from that. It was, Jillian, let go of the resentment that you have for these people, because that's not yours to carry. Like that's not, you have to let it go. And it was tough, but I promise this is what God does for me. He always checks me. Like, and he gives me a good checks. Like, no, you're going to do this job and you're going to humble yourself.
Yes.
You're going to do that. And I was like, oh no. And I did it. And it was still a great experience while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great self-check for me, because a lot of times we are doing things we don't want to do. And we don't understand why, Lord. And sometimes it's because there are some seeds that need to be planted.
Yeah.
That don't have anything to do with you at all. And it's just, you need to be there to plant some seeds.
Wow.
And I was able to do that. But you don't see it until later on down the road. And it's just like, I have to trust, God has it all taken care of, even when it doesn't make sense.
So he was setting you up.
He was setting you up.
It was a test to see if you would trust him. You would be humble enough to trust him, even if it was just 10 hours a week with $15, $150, will you trust me?
Yeah.
That you will believe that I'm going to bring you into greater. And now your testimony is that you made in just these last few months more than you made the entire
year. The entire year.
Wow. Yeah. And that is so amazing. That is God. And so that's such a valuable lesson to learn, because it's easier to say, just be patient, just be patient. And you could tell somebody else that. But when you have to walk through the valley of patience, when you have to walk through the valley of patience and just trusting God, that is totally, totally different. And so I thank you for sharing that, because there are so many people that are still waiting on God right now, that are still trusting God right now. And sometimes we feel like we need to help God out in so many ways. I've been there, done that, wrote a book about it. I mean, so many times where God has just challenged me to be patient and to trust him. And then my faith began to fail me because of what my eyes were seeing. A lot of times we allow sight to interfere with the vision that God has for us. Sight is being able to see what you see, what's around you, the here and the now. But vision is the ability to see beyond. And sometimes in life, we get so caught up in what we see, we lose the ability beyond where we're at. And so God wants us to remain in a position that no matter what is going on around us, like the world is chaotic right now, so much is happening, that no matter what is going on around us, can we see the glory that's coming from this? You know, can we see that in the midst of a pandemic that God is building millionaires? Can we see that in the midst of a pandemic, we got several pandemics going on at one time, that God is allowing relationships to expand and to grow, and businesses to boom, even though we see one of the things that I prophesied in this season was that this was a season where there was a tidal wave coming. Those that were big and strong, there was going to be a great fall, and those that were at a lower level, there was going to be a great rise. And so, what God was saying was that this is a season like never before, where we're going to see the wealth of the wicked being laid waste into the hands, laid over into the hands of the righteous. Because what you're going to see is these mega giants beginning to fall, and these smaller people, these smaller businesses, these smaller visions are going to rise like never before. But see, it all takes us being in a place where we have to be patient, and we have to trust the process. We have to trust that even when we don't see something, God is already doing something. It's already done, but we can't see it. And so I said, there is a shifting, there is a turn that is happening in this season. You're a witness of it. You're already testifying about the glory of God, and what he's done from this year alone in comparison to last year. But there is a shifting that has taken place, and a lot of people aren't going to be able, and then when God gave me this word, a lot of people are not going to be able to receive this word about the financial prosperity that is about to happen for so many people. And he also gave a word of, even with marriages, there was something with marriages, how marriages were going to expand, but there were some marriages that weren't going to be able to handle the pressure, because this was a time of testing, not just in marriages, but even for the singles, a time of testing. Because with the singles, there was going to be a time where they were going to give over to the lust of the flesh and not wait on God, because they see, oh, everybody is quarantining and chilling, but they don't know behind closed doors there are some marriages that are ready to drop everything and say no to everything and walk away. So we think that okay, the singles looking at the married like I need to be booed up right now, and the married looking at the singles like I need to be single right now. And so there is like confusion in the land. What we're supposed to be doing and what we're supposed to be focusing on, we're losing sight of that because we're getting weary in the well doing. We're getting weary, and because of the spirits that's in the atmosphere, the spirits that are in high places, the principalities, rulers of darkness that are running rapid, we lose sight of the promise because of the spirit of heaviness is all around us. So what happens is we begin to focus more on the heaviness than what's on the blessing that's right in front of us. And so it's like, okay, stay focused because greater is about to happen. But God is only going to pour out the greater upon those that are really, really positioning themselves to trust God. The giants are falling. The weak is going to rise. There is a shifting that's taking place. But if you say, well, you know what? I don't know about that. I'm not feeling that. All I know is I'm struggling. All I know is the situation. You're going to miss God. And so watch this. There are things that are happening and happening fast. And there are people, I just been encouraging people to just really do what you say. Just be patient. Just hold on, because there is going to be glory after this. Matter of fact, there is going to be glory in the midst of this. That, you know, I was reading about some people are trying to buy up toilet paper while other people investing in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about perception. It's all about perception. All about where are you at mentally, and this is where. And I want to advise everybody that if you're struggling with patience, if you're struggling with endurance, take a step back mentally and say, am I depressed? Am I heavy? Am I burdened? Am I jealous? Am I envious? Am I contentious? Am I, lonely? Am I, whatever it is. And so once you step back and you look at where you're at, you have to first acknowledge where you're at so that you can get to where you're going. And so you had to, like you say, have some come to Jesus meetings with you and God, sit down, get in his word, pray, worship, and just talk to him. God, and I love that you said that, because God is saying to so many of us that he misses his time with us, like wants us to have time with him, to spend time with him. Prayer and meditation is not a one-way thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna talk to God, tell him what I want. Call him up and tell him what you want. So we're gonna call him up, we're gonna tell him what we want, but we ain't gonna give him a chance to tell him what he wants. We're not giving him a chance for him to tell us what he wants, because what he wants could be totally, totally different than what we want. Like what you wanted. You wanted this job, this money, everything that came with it, lights, camera, action, come on, And God was like, no, I'm gonna give you $15 an hour in a week, okay? So you're gonna get this little $150 and sit your little self down somewhere.
but do you see what I'm saying? If I didn't have the reference by going to the word and seeing how many people in the word have experienced the same thing, like this ain't something new. I just said David did not even become king for 20 years. So we're gonna look at what David went through, right? Like, let's just see. All right, David, we need you to go back out there and maintain them sheep.
To the sheep, okay? Go to little sheep boy, go back out in the field.
I anointed you, but
to be king. You anointed, but go
anointed. But go ahead and do that. And I promise you, and I am in no way saying I am David, but I am just like, I know. The Bible talks about trials and tribulations. You cannot avoid it. It's going to happen. So we can sit back and act surprised when something happens, right? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going through this. Yeah, you are. Because it's about that time for a trial and tribulation. Some of us have them maybe once a year. Some of them have them back to back. It's just what it is. He says that it's going to happen, right? It's inevitable. So then if I know that and I really tell myself, okay, all right, Jay, time for trials and tribulations. Like, let's what do we need to do? Like, we need to get the armor on and just get ready to go through it. My prayer, I used to pray all the time, God, get me out of it. God, get me out of it. God, get me out of it. And I think it was you I talked to, and you were saying, you pray for God to get you through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like my mindset was different, because I just want to get out because it hurts so much and it's so ugly. I just want to get out. And it was like, no, we got to go through this. We got to go through it, because somehow we're gaining so much when we're going through it. That is helping us in the end, in the long run. I got tools that I would have never had I not gone through abusive relationships or, traumatic times with my job or family or whatever. Like, all of those things, I can see now how it all plays a part in what my life's purpose is.
Wow. And you mentioned abusive relationships, and I know that's a big part of your testimony. When you say abuse, what type of abuse? Did somebody as beautiful and talented and gifted as you? Who in the world? Okay, talk about that.
Yeah, I did. So, was it about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, was I was with somebody who was an absolute sociopath, and I had never even understood what it was then, and I didn't know what this mental and emotional abuse looked like.
Wow.
And it took my father, you know, pulling me to the side. My father he was a police officer, and he was like, "Hey, you're in an abusive relationship. Like you need to get some help." And I was like, "Me?" I'm like, "Nah, he need to get some help, player. Like I'm good." And my dad was like, I saw my dad cry for the first time. He was like, "You need to go see somebody." And so there I entered my journey to healing and went into therapy and pushed through a year of depression, just trying to get my mind back together. And then who would have thought years later, I would be wrapped up again in another abusive relationship. But this time it was different because this was somebody that was in church. This was a person who was praying for me day and night and who knew the word like the back of his hand. And so I needed that experience, though. I needed it because God showed me that I was going to be helping other women to break these chains, but they needed to be able to see the importance of trusting the God that's in them and how God is speaking to us and we're ignoring him.
So I want to ask you something. You said you went through mental and emotional abuse. Can you be specific as to what that looks like? Because somebody else could be going through that exact same thing. And
yeah.
It's abuse. They don't think it's abuse. They say, well, that's just him, or, you know, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, everything from, you know, belittling. I remember, like, for example, sitting on the couch with my boyfriend at the time watching TV, and just out of nowhere, he was like, you know, you're really lucky to be with me because nobody would want to be with you. You didn't graduate from college. You're a single mom. You're divorced. And I was just like, and just imagine when you're like hearing something that just comes out of nowhere, you're like, wait, what? Wow. And you hear those things enough, you might start to believe them. And I did.
Wow.
So the belittling, manipulation, making you feel crazy is a real thing. They call it gaslighting. No remorse, being with someone who has no remorse. So, you know, he wrecks my car and I'm like, hey, you wrecked my car. And he's, you know, well, I wouldn't have wrecked it if you didn't, you know, make me mad.
Wow. So he was like a blame shifter. He always found a way to make you feel at fault for the way you were. Okay,
like always blaming you. Anytime something happens, it's just always your fault. That's a part of mental abuse. Triangulation is something that I learned about in this past relationship. Is a term I had not heard of.
What is
and that's when it's like, you know, the example of my relationship was he would always say, you know, my mom just doesn't believe that you can handle my anointing. She just doesn't think you're like wife material. And
oh, wow.
So what you're doing is you're pitting us against each other, right? Like by sharing, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but either way, you know, that's not healthy. Like a person who really loves you is not going to come to you and say, my mama, man, she just don't like you. I don't know why. Like,
wow.
That's not healthy. So paying attention to things like that, if they're trying to make you jealous, you know, he would always say, yeah, there's a girl at the gym always trying to holler at me. I know she know I got a girlfriend.
Oh,
I know. And like, we take those small things for granted. We know it doesn't feel good. Like, it don't feel right that the person said it, but we don't really know like what that is. And that's abusive behavior.
Wow.
And when you hear those things over and over, and you're experiencing those things over and over, it starts to really eat away at you. And a person who has been physically abused will tell you it's the mental and emotional abuse that hurts even more. It's the reason why I wrote a book called Without Bruises. Like, I might not have anything physically to show because all of my bruises are in here, and it twists your brain to where you cannot function.
So let me see. So okay, so after the first time, you went through therapy and all of that, and I guess you thought you got better, you were good, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, there had to be something still there for that type of person to be attracted to you all over again, right?
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I'm an empath, right?
mhm,
So as an empath, we take on everyone else's pain. It's a thing that we do, and narcissists are extremely attracted to empaths because they have so much stuff and they want somebody else to take it. Come get it, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So we're more likely to give them the attention. Oh, please, I can help you. I want to help you. I can help. I can fix you. I can, and they love it. But the second time, if nothing else, the big thing for me was I just didn't trust my intuition. This time I saw the signs. You know, the first time I didn't know the signs. I didn't get it. I was just like, man, this
yeah,
mean sometimes. But you know, he's had a hard childhood, and I could be there.
yeah.
The second time I saw God spoke to me in a dream. And the problem was I opened up my mouth and I told him about the dream when I should have just done what my gut said.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Mhm.
Just leave, like, you got the message.
Mm.
Say goodbye. And
Right.
instead, he was like, man, I had this dream. Let me tell you what happened in the dream. I was like, I got to leave you alone. And of course, that person is like, well, that dream went about me. You know, they convinced me otherwise. Because no one's going to say, you know what, you're right. That dream was about me. And you should probably leave me alone. No one's going to do that, right?
Right, right.
And so that's the one thing I promise with everything in my spirit. If I could just get this into people, if you could learn from the mistakes that I have learned, trust when God is speaking to you, you know, you feel it.
Mm.
You know it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Like, and don't walk away from it. Don't brush that under the rug. When you hear it, when you hear his voice, hey, it don't feel right, you need to leave it alone. We hear it, but then we start thinking and questioning and asking our friends, what you think? And, oh, girl, he's a good man. And it's like, no, God already told you. And that's just you and him. That's all that matters. Just you and him.
Because God didn't give the word to somebody else. He gave it to you. And so we expect somebody else to give us the confirmation, and they have no clue what God has given you on a personal level. From a prophetic standpoint, dreams are prophetic signs from God of what's to come. And if we don't take heed to those dreams, those warnings, then that's on us. And so God is looking at, God always, you know, when somebody comes up to me and they be like, well, it just happened out of nowhere. I'm like, no, it didn't just, they didn't all of a sudden do this to you. They didn't all of a sudden become this person. God always gives warnings before the fall. That's his word. That's biblical. And the problem with it is that we ignore it because we get too caught up in our own selfish ambitions. We get too caught up in what we want out of it, what we desire.
Yeah.
And we want to help God out. Well, God, if I pray, or if I just stay, or if I say this, or if I do that, you know, we try to figure out ways to help God out. And God's like, no matter what you do, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And so we ignore the still small voice. We ignore the inner spirit, the Holy Spirit, who tries to whisper in our ear. And so for you, you know, to be able to share with women, like, even if it's not physical abuse, there is emotional abuse, there is mental abuse, and you got to get yourself together. One of the things I think that we should be more focused on is our mental stability. If we're feeling heavy, if we're feeling overwhelmed, if we got to take medicines and be on all of this stuff just to have a clear mind, something's not right. Let's get to the root of that. Where did it start? Why did it start? Why do you feel like this is okay? Why do you feel like you're not good enough? Why do you feel like this is you did something, so you got to get this? You know what I'm saying? So there are so many things that we go through as women mentally that's just unstable, and we got to recognize when we need help.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Uh,
Yeah. And sometimes it's, like you said earlier, when we are in it and it's so heavy
mm-hmm.
and so painful, it's just so hard for us to see it.
Yeah.
And being, having people around you to keep you accountable, having real people who love you and genuinely care about your well-being is so important.
Yeah.
The first time I didn't listen to my friends. They were like, yo, they pointed everything out. Like, do you see this?
Yeah.
Do you see this? And I was just like, girl, he's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know what you're talking about. But the second go round, I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And like I paid more attention. I went to therapy. The minute I started dating that person, I sat down with my therapist and I was like, hey, this seems familiar. Like there's something just familiar. And I went to see her once a month the whole time I was with that person.
Wow.
And every single time I said the same thing. It just seems so familiar.
Right. That familiar spirit was back.
Yeah.
Wow.
It ain't coming back no more though.
Okay. You not up in here. Okay. This ain't what you want, Satan. There's the most spirits. I love it. So I praise God for your breakthrough in that area of your life. I thank God for the next level that he's shifting you to. If we think about this year with so much going on, what has been one of the, I guess, ways that your faith has gone to another level this year for something major that you're believing God for? Like how have you seen beyond what's happening to dream big?
Yeah. What's interesting is I have been writing more, and more of my messages have included scripture, which is different from my normal speaking. Like, I do motivational speaking, but not often am I tying in scripture. And I was like, Lord, where am I going to be saying this stuff at? Like, where am I going? Like, and just so clear. It's just like, keep writing. And just believing that it may not be for years from now, but there's a reason why I keep hearing, keep writing. God has placed on my heart books, journals that I'm creating right now.
Wow.
And I felt bad about saying how good I have felt during COVID, but this is the best I have felt in so long.
Wow.
And I know it's because of I'm intentional with spending more time with God. So that's one. If you spend more time, you're going to feel better. Like, you don't feel worse. Like, I don't be like, man, that was too much. Like, I feel so rejuvenated. I've been able to rest more in this season. I've gotten more clarity. I've been able to do more work. I've been able to take more courses. I've been able to build my own course. I've just been, it's just been a perfect balance of everything.
Wow.
And so I know that there's some movement that's going to take place. And I'm really just at peace. Like, you know what? Whenever it's time, I'm going to be ready. I got about 40 messages. You got me right here. I'm going to be ready, whatever that is. And there was a part of me for a second, Lady Trish, I said, well, doggone it, COVID-19 happened. Like, when are we going to be speaking? My whole thing is traveling the world and being able to speak. And how am I going to do that? Because now ain't nobody trying to go nowhere. And God was like, hey, switch it up. Yeah, like, look, keep doing what I'm calling you to do. And I think that's a big thing. And if I could just encourage anybody, when God has already shown you what your purpose is, regardless of what it is that you currently see in front of your face, keep doing your purpose.
Yeah.
So you aren't working in the field. Well, then can you volunteer? Like, spend some time volunteering, because you would be surprised what doors open
Right.
when you are just working in your purpose. There's nothing that can stop you from doing purpose.
Wow.
Anything.
That's
Whether,
good.
you know what I mean? Whether it's
Good.
talking to somebody, doing a podcast, talking. Everybody got social media now, so you can spread your purpose somewhere, right? No excuses. Like, you can still live in your purpose despite not having money in your bank account.
Yeah.
You know, people getting on your nerves. Like, you can still do it. And I think we just make excuses because we want it to look the way we want it to look.
Wow, that's really good. That's awesome. Woo, sure. That was good. And I have one more question. We're finishing up. So if you look at, I don't know, did I ask you about this one? Like, what has been one of your biggest challenges so far this year and how you've overcome that challenge?
Biggest challenge this year. Oh man. It's so crazy. And I'm just gonna be real. Like, I don't have one. Like, I can't even think, and I think it's only because of my mindset this year.
Wow.
I've embraced the challenges, right? Like, some things have not gone the way that I've wanted them to go, you know, but I've always seen them play out, you know, where it still benefits me. Like, one of my biggest challenges was, like, I had speaking events that got canceled. So that was thousands of dollars that just went down the tubes. But God was able to bring those same people back to me to say, hey, can you do it virtually? Yes, I can.
Yes.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I haven't experienced the same type of worry that I had in the past. So I don't know. I don't want to say I don't have any challenges. I guess my mindset is just different. It's like, oh, okay.
A renewed mind in the midst of a pandemic, to where when the world is being challenged all over, you're finding a way to break through and breeze through.
Yes.
You know,
I'm telling you, man, God is so faithful. I just told you last year I have no money. Okay.
Yeah.
None. And how is it last year God sent me to London to speak, my first time ever going to London. God sent me to Australia last year to speak. My first time ever in Australia.
Wow.
I had no money last year. Like, no money, no job, no nothing. And I'm just like, God has already shown me what I told you I have for you. I can make this happen. But you gotta do me.
Woo! Yes, that's so good. Like, He can make it happen. We try to make it happen.
And we don't do too well.
Good in that, Lord. Help us, Father.
Yes. I mean, it's all Him. And that is what I am resting on. I am resting on the fact that when it looks like it is not good, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know what God has already done. And He has been consistent with that. He has been consistent with showing up when it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Always coming through.
I love it. That's so good. That is so good. I love it. How are you challenging others? We're winding this down now to look in so that they could be better out. Are you finding yourself being in a position where you could challenge people to be better? How are you challenging others in the process of you overcoming this new mindset for you? Have you found that you've been able to challenge people to help them?
Yeah. You know, one thing that I did a couple of months ago that was it was weird, and I don't even know what sparked this in my head, but I reached out to a lot of my friends. Most of them live all around the country, and I sent them a survey. It's like my girlfriend's survey. Okay. And I'm like, tell me, you know, how's your mind right now? Like, how you feeling? What are some issues that you having? What are some things I can pray for? You know, just and then like giving them resources. So, taking a look at the survey and saying, okay, now I know I need to send some of my friends these articles, like, pointing them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So just challenging my friends, like, hey, let's take a little self-check to see where we are mentally, because this has been a heavy couple of months, period. Like for everybody, it's traumatic. We are experiencing trauma, and some people experience it in different ways and overcome it in different ways. So being able just to help people just take a look at themselves, and then provide them with necessary tools to overcome. That has been what I've been doing for the last couple of months to help my people, and doing the same thing on social media too.
That is amazing. That check-in, like how are you handling, how you're doing. That is amazing. Almost like a shepherd or pastor, looking after the flock. No, seriously, that's like that, a shepherd's anointing. Like, I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. I want to make sure everybody's good. So I can see how God is really preparing you for ministry. I see that. That's it. You think that's like God, but no, as a pastor, myself, I know, what that looks like. And I'm not saying you're going to be a pastor, married to a pastor. Like, I don't know. I'm not putting that on God. I'm just saying how I can see that type of anointing on your life and how God is using you. And he's allowing your speeches to take a turn with scriptures, with empowering scriptures and motivation from there. It's all a setup. And so God is going to get a lot of glory out of your life, because this is just the beginning of what he's going to do for you. So just be ready. Oh my gosh. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. It's just, I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful to be used.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that he chose me. Like,
chosen. Yeah.
He chose me. Like, whoa.
Yeah. So if you could give words of encouragement as we close out to someone listening, what would you tell them before we leave the interview?
Yeah. Just trust the God's voice inside of you. And that's with everything. I often talk about it just with the domestic abuse, but God speaks to us. Yeah. And we just need to find that time, be intentional with our time, and give them that time so we can listen. Yeah. You're not busy. He will shut the whole world down. Okay? Like, shut the world down. And then I just pictured the Lord just sitting back like, you ain't got time? Now you got time. What you gonna do with it? Oh, you still on Netflix. Oh, okay. All right. Netflix all back. That's what you're gonna do? Like, I don't want to be caught up when I'm telling you. So like, make the time to just listen. And be prepared for what you hear, right? Like, be prepared to take those steps from what you hear.
That's good. That's awesome. All right. So as we close out, can you tell everybody how to connect with you? Are you doing anything big right now? Any programs, any books, how can they follow you, connect with what you're selling, girl? I mean, all of that.
So, okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. So last year, I did an audio book. Well, it's a workbook. It's called All Falls Down. It's a daily study of scripture to lift you up when life has knocked you down. And I did an audio version of it. So it's like daily affirmations that you can hear every day. I did accomplish that while I didn't have no job. So that is available. It's on Audible, or you can actually buy the workbook on Amazon. My other two books are on Amazon, Respect My Crown and Affirmation Journal, and Without Bruises, which is my experience going through mental and emotional abuse. I'm JJ on the Mic on Instagram and JJ on the Mic Fans on Facebook. And coming up on July 23rd, I would love every woman on the whole entire planet to join me as I honor the women of my I'm Me Foundation. It's 50 women who have worked so hard, selflessly, volunteering for the last 8 years to help empower young girls.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to honor them on virtually at with Microsoft on July 23rd. So if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see all the announcements for that. But
And you're on Facebook as what's your
Facebook is JJ on the Mic fans.
JJ on
JJ MIC fans. Yeah. Yay! So yeah, I want to connect. I want to hear from people. So please feel free to DM me. I respond back to all my DMs.
Well, that said that wrong. Is it was a C.
Oh, MIC. Yeah, JJ on the MIC fans. Yeah. Thank you. This was so fun. I'm so glad that we got a chance to connect. I miss your face.
Oh, I know this pandemic got us all sitting down and isolated and separated and all of that. We're going to get back together soon. Yeah. I'm super ready to do a lot of the stuff we've been doing. A lot of stuff is turning virtual, which I'm so personable, meeting people and just reaching out and touching. So this virtual thing is just doing something to me. I'm trying to hang though. Yeah. I'm trying. But yeah, so thank you so very, very much for joining me on today, for tuning in, and just really all the juicy nuggets that you were able to share to empower the women, to empower the listeners from north, south, east, and west. We're on so many different platforms right now, from Periscope, Facebook, YouTube as well. This is also going to be aired on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts in 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, it's going to be on there. So you guys could catch the replay on my Facebook page. If you have Apple Podcasts, you will be able to hear it there as well. So, all right, guys, it has been awesome, JJ. Thank you again, girl. I love you. We're going to be in touch soon. Thank you, everybody, for following, for listening, for liking, loving, sharing, watch partying, all of that stuff. Y'all stay safe. Love y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.